What are our most common distractions? Okay, close your eyes and think of the most common things that do not allow you to focus on whatever you want to. चलिए, who's ready? People talking in the background. Okay, yeah, that's a good one, Shreya. Class में यदि कोई unmuted है तो it doesn't help us to focus. Good. What else? Things that don't belong to me. Good. Text by a friend. So things that don't belong to me, this is the biggest one. So I means my Atma. And everything other than the Atma, I am able to focus on. Why? Because हमको वो चीजें दिखती है. What you can see, you're able, it's tangible. So you're focused on that. Your eyes are seeing outside. लेकिन कल हमने देखा आत्मा तो दिखती ही नहीं है. तो क्या होता है? You're not able to focus on that which you cannot see. Yes, Jinali says thoughts. Yes, there's million thoughts going on in our mind and they're racing for each other. But the thought about our soul के मैं कौन हूं तो मैं शुद्ध आत्मा हूं, ये thought हम focus कर ही नहीं पाते. It's because of all those distractions. So now that we've realized that I am not my body, I am not my mind, I am not my emotions, I am only a soul. So it's like you're you're flying a kite, लेकिन उस kite, उस पतंग की जो डोर है ना वो अपनी हाथ में होनी चाहिए. So kite means your thoughts are going everywhere, here, there, all over the place. But remember to hold the reins back to you. I'll give you a very beautiful example for this. So बाहर के construction noises, a clunk, it seems like तुम्हारे घर के बाहर construction बहुत हो रहा है. Right? And what about the noises in our brain? कितनी सारी आवाज होती है ना? And there's loud noises. All our five senses are calling, they're competing for each other. What about that? If I'm in school, my friends, yes, our friends can be a distraction. And very often we can be a distraction for our friends. Isn't it so, hum? People text while the teacher is talking. Yes. Not whatever is not necessary, we can definitely stay away from that. Unnecessary. Yes. Very, very good. What are some other things? So now these are all the distractions. What is it that we can do to overcome our distractions? What is your best strategy to overcome your distractions? Like, let me give you an example. If you're in the jungle and if there is a leopard running behind you, like he's far away but he's coming to chase you, will you be distracted by anything around? Well, you're just going to run for your life, isn't it? Helter skelter, kuch bhi karo, you will run for your life. So just like that, there is this Ayu Karma, okay, who is behind us at all times. Every single moment, our Ayu Karma is depleting. Okay, Kal Siha. It's called Kal Siha ne Mrug Chetan ko Ghera Bhavan mein. So that lion is bouncing behind us, and we cannot afford to get distracted because we are losing on time, and time is the most precious commodity, right? So we must always remember what is most important to me at any given point. Like for you as students, what is most important? Your studies, to be focusing on your academics, your sport, listening to your parents, because no one else wants you to be the best version of yourself as much as your parents and your teachers. Agree, everyone? So that is what we should be focusing on. But very often we forget that and we are focusing on all the noise around us, which we really don't need to. I'll give you a very beautiful example, okay? So हमारे five senses है ना, ये पांच घोड़ों जैसे हैं और ये शरीर मतलब एक रथ जैसे है. ओके, अब रथ है और घोड़ा है और यू अंडरस्टैंड द रेन्स, घोड़े को जो पकड़ते हैं. ओके, so that is like the mind, and if the mind goes in all directions, like the five senses are dissipated. कभी अच्छा खाने का मन कर रहा है, हमेशा अच्छा देखने का मन करता है, सुनने का मन करता है, बट इट्स ऑल ओवर द प्लेस. अब जो सारथी है उसने अगर घोड़े की रेन्स को पकड़ा है, तभी चैरियट सीधे जाएगा ना अपने युद्ध की डायरेक्शन में, राइट, ऑन इट्स गोल पाथ. तो सिमिलर लाइक दैट विथ अस. All our five senses are competing for our attention, but we must hold the reins, and here comes the soul power. That's why we have to leave becoming the slave, and it's time to get that mastery over the five senses. And that's why we are going to learn this topic called Gyani Shravak ke Barav Vrat. Now, Anubhav ji is in Ujjain, but he has said he will attend today. So give me a couple of minutes. I'm just going to send him a message, and I'll come back soon. In the meantime, we can listen to a stuti or a bhakti. Or in the
Okay,
meantime,
I can share this today. Okay.
thank you, Ruhiji. Okay, sorry everyone, my apologies. Anubhaji should be here very, very soon. In the meantime, we will just go back to our PowerPoint and we'll take it from there. हम लोग नमोकार मंत्र से start कर लेते थे. Everyone, videos on. नमो अर्हन्ताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आयिर्याणं नमो छायाणं नमो लोहे सव्वसाहूणं मङ्गलं भगवान् वीरो मङ्गलं गौतमो गणि मङ्गलं कुन्दकुन्दार्यो जैनधर्मोऽस्तु मङ्गलम् सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वकल्याणकारकं प्रधानं सर्वधर्माणां जैनं जयतु शासनं जैनं जयतु शासनम. जय जिनेन्द्र सभी को. सभी अपने अपने वीडियोस ऑन कर ले. कल की क्लास में विवेक जी ने एक 3 वर्ड्स का एक सूत्र हमको बताया था. अप्पा सो परमप्पा. एंड अप्पा वाज व्हाट वाज अप्पा? आत्मा. आत्मा ही परमात्मा है. तो हम सब आत्मा है. इन द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द क्लास वी सेड दैट वी आर आत्मा. कैसा आत्मा है? तो शुद्ध आत्मा है. सो वी आर ऑल शुद्ध आत्मा बाय आवर नेचर. बट राइट नाउ क्या हमारी पर्याय शुद्ध है? आर वी इन द परफेक्टेड स्टेट राइट नाउ? बोलो. नो वी आर नॉट. राइट. तो आत्मा ही परमात्मा है. यस, आत्मा में परमात्मा बनने की शक्ति है. बट व्हाई आर वी नॉट इन दैट परफेक्टेड स्टेट राइट नाउ? एनी आइडिया? अभी हम परमात्मा क्यों नहीं है? Why are we still praying to Bhagwan? Until when will we keep praying to Bhagwan? Of course, that is one thing we will do every single day until we ourselves become Bhagwan. Agree, everyone? Yes? So, right now, why are we in Sansar? Because we have a lot of karmas attracted to us. In the Sat Tattva Sambandhi Bhool, we saw Asrav Tattva, Bandha Tattva. So, we've been attracting all these karmas. And the reason is, हमारे कोई व्रत नहीं है. There is no fence around us that will repel the karmas. So Asrav is influx of karmas, Bandha is बॉन्डेज ऑफ कर्मस। ये तो हमने अनादिकाल से किया है, बट व्हाट इज वन थिंग वी हैव नेवर डन सो फार? Samvar and Nirjara. So, in this birth, if there is anything that we are going to do, we are going to champion focusing on ourselves, on engrossing in our own soul, and that's when our new karmas are going to stop coming. Okay, but now we are going to learn about the Bara Vrat, the fence that is made up of 12 types of व्रत, जिसकी वजह से कर्मों का आना रुक जाता है, हमारे पांच इंद्रियों पर संयम पा सकते हैं. So it's a very interesting and a very important topic which we will take. चलिए. So what does the word Shravak mean in the first place? Does anyone know Shravak कैसे बना है word? Shra, Va and Ka. Any idea? Yes, Sanskriti. बोलो बेटा.
श्र से श्रद्धावान, व से विवेकवान एंड क से क्रियावान।
Beautiful. श्रद्धावान मतलब जिसकी श्रद्धा मतलब जिसका belief right है. So that comes to right belief. Vivekwan, the one. Kriyavan. Shravva is Vivekwan, the one who can exercise the wisdom of discrimination between what is right and what is wrong. Okay? क्या सही है? That is Shravva is Vivek and Ka is to bring that into action. So right belief, right knowledge and right conduct. All three are equally necessary for a Shravak. अब ज्ञानी किसको कहते हैं? दिस चैप्टर इज अबाउट ज्ञानी श्रावक के 12 व्रत. हु आर ज्ञानीज? ज्ञानी किसको कहते हैं? यस, बोलो ध्रुव.
So, like over here, they are saying that Gyani refers to people who have like Samyak Darshan.
Yes, not just to people who have lots of knowledge. Remember, lots of knowledge is good to have, is great to have, but only information will not lead to transformation. Okay? And currently, our era, we are living in an information overload. But what is important is Prayojan Bhut information. That's why we learned the Prayojan Bhut Sat Tattva. तो ज्ञानी किसको कहते हैं? जिसे यथार्थ सम्यक दर्शन हुआ हो, जिसको आत्मा का ज्ञान ज्ञान है, वो ही ज्ञानी है. रिमेंबर, एकम जाने ते सर्वम जाने. जो अपने आत्मा को जान लेगा वो सबको जान लेगा. इन व्हाट सेंस वो सबको जान लेगा? उसको सम्यक दर्शन होगा ही होगा. राइट? सो जिसे सम्यक दर्शन हुआ है वो ही आत्मज्ञानी है. नाउ देयर इज टू टाइप्स ऑफ श्रावक्स. वन इज व्रति. व्रत मतलब द वंस who've taken certain vows, उसको कहते हैं व्रति. एंड द अदर इज अव्रति. ओके? अब दोनों सम्यक्त्व सहित होते होने पर ही होते हैं. ओनली व्हेन वन इज सम्यक दृष्टि, ओनली व्हेन वन हैज राइट बिलीफ, दैट इज व्हेन he becomes a shravak. So whether you're vrati or you're avrati, samyak darshan is a prerequisite to become a shravak. अब there is a ladder on the path of moksha जिसको कहते हैं गुणस्थान. So the ones on the fourth gunasthan, okay? The first here is not the best. School में, college में, sports में, first is great, okay? But here the first gunasthan is about wrong belief. So first gunasthan is not what we are aiming for here. द बेयर मिनिमम, जब किसी को सम्यक दर्शन हो जाता है, हाउस होल्डर को, और उसके कोई व्रत नहीं है, तब वो फोर्थ गुणस्थान वर्ती होता है. एंड व्हेन ही टेक्स एनी व्रत, देन ही गोज टू द फिफ्थ गुणस्थान. सो देयर टू टाइप्स ऑफ श्रावक्स, व्रति एंड अव्रति. अब व्रत क्या है? सो हियर टू इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट्स. वन इज निश्चय फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ द प्योर सोल.
मैम सिखा रही है, पहले भी मैम सिखा रही है. अभी आधी क्लास हो गई.
ओके, सभी लोग म्यूट कर लीजिए प्लीज. इफ यू आर ज्वाइनिंग न्यू, काइंडली म्यूट. सो व्रत क्या है? फ्रॉम द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ निश्चय, फ्रॉम द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ द प्योर सोल, कषाय के अभाव रूप वीतरागता. सो वीतराग का डेफिनेशन, नो राग एंड नो द्वेष. सो वीतराग, दैट शुद्ध भाव, दैट प्योर भाव, उसको कहते हैं निश्चय से व्रत. और व्यवहार से, द बॉडीली एक्शंस, प्रतिज्ञा पूर्वक. प्रतिज्ञा मतलब you've taken a vow. 5 पापों का त्याग करना, हिंसा, झूठ, चोरी, कुशील, परिग्रह, 5 पापों का प्रतिज्ञा पूर्वक त्याग करना, दैट इज अ बॉडीली एक्शन, वो शुभ भाव है. सो बाहर से शुभ भाव है और अंतरंग में कैसे है? शुद्ध भाव है. डू यू ऑल रिमेंबर वी हैड सीन तीन भाव हो, तीन प्रकार के भाव होते हैं. ओके, ग्रॉसली टू. एक है अशुद्ध और एक है शुद्ध. बट द अशुद्ध इज डिवाइडेड इनटू टू. व्हाट आर द, या गुणव इज शोइंग गुणस्थान्स. वेरी गुड गुणव. व्हाट आर द टू? वन इज अशुभ, then comes shubh, and then comes shuddha bhav. When we had seen about bahiratma, antaratma, paramatma, we had seen, okay, शुभ और अशुभ भाव, पाप एंड पुण्य, एंड द थर्ड ऑप्शन इज शुद्ध भाव. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव नेवर डन इन द पास्ट. हम शुभ और अशुभ में तो बहुत खेलते रहे, झूलते रहे हैं पुण्य और पाप में, लेकिन शुद्ध भाव कहाँ मिलेगा? वेयर विल यू हैव टू गो फॉर शुद्ध भाव? हु कैन टेल मी? शुद्ध भाव, थिंक थिंक. शुद्ध भाव के लिए बाहर देखना बंद करना होगा और अपने आत्मा, ये मोक्ष, सामान्य से मोक्ष में आत्मा, वेरी गुड, मोक्ष में नहीं, अपने आत्मा में जब लीन हो जाएंगे तब डेफिनेटली मोक्ष में शुद्ध भाव मिल ही जाएगा. ओके, चलिए. सो निश्चय से कषाय के अभाव रूप वीतरागता, वो है शुद्ध भाव. और व्यवहार से ऑल द बॉडीली एक्शंस दैट यू आर डूइंग, हिंसा, झूठ, चोरी, कुशील, परिग्रह नहीं करना, दैट इज शुभ भाव. नाउ देयर टू टाइप्स ऑफ व्रतीज. ओके, वन इज जो घर में रहते हैं, जिसको गृहस्थ कहते हैं, लाइक यू एंड मी. ओके, वी लिव इन हाउस, दैट वाई वी आर गृहस्थ. आगारी, जिसको अगार यानी घर, एंड द सेकंड इज अनगारी, यानी जिन्होंने घर का त्याग कर दिया है, भाव घर रहित गृह त्यागी साधु. तो अगारी और अनगारी. सो जो घर में रहते हैं, दे कैन टेक स्मॉल व्रत्स, मिनी व्रत्स, अणु व्रत. अणु मीन्स छोटा. एंड जिन्होंने घर का त्याग कर दिया है, जो साधु है, वो महाव्रती कहलाते हैं. एज द नेम सजेस्ट, मेगा बिग व्रत्स, महाव्रती. अब व्रत के दो प्रकार देखते हैं, अणुव्रत एंड महाव्रत. सो हिंसा आदि का एक देश, पार्शियल त्याग, बिकॉज एज अ हाउस होल्डर यू कैनॉट limit all the hinsa, but what you can do is you can minimize the hinsa. तो हिंसा आदि का एक देश त्याग इज अणुव्रत. और पूर्ण त्याग, just the opposite of that, partial and complete, that is महाव्रत. दो कषाय के अभाव रूप आत्मशुद्धि, the purity of the soul. Now there is 4 intensities of kashaya. Anantanubandhi is like the strongest intensity, which is compared to a crack in the rock. ठीक है, किसी रॉक में क्रैक है तो कितना समय लगेगा उसको सील होने में दोबारा? इट विल टेक वेरी वेरी लॉन्ग, राइट? many many years and decades or centuries. So that is anantanubandhi. So in the mithyatva state, everyone has this anantanubandhi kashaya. And ananta काल का जो अनुबंध है, that which is going to stay for ananta काल, that is anantanubandhi रूप कषाय. The second is apratyakhyan. It's compared to a crack in a wood. It'll fix much sooner than a crack in the rock, right? If you're comparing a wood to hardness of wood to the hardness of the rock, तो वो है अप्रत्याख्यान. Then we have प्रत्याख्यान. It's like in sand, you're drawing a line in sand. And the last one is sanjvalan, very transient. It's like a ripple in the water. ठीक है? So now do you understand the difference of the intensities? And Anubhav ji is here. आ गए हैं Anubhav ji. Thank you so much, Anubhav ji.
Say, Chinjay, I'm so sorry that I
No, no.
was late.
We much appreciate Anubhav ji. आप अभी अष्टानिका के लिए हो, फिर भी you're giving your time. That is very much appreciated. Over to you. मंगलाचरण कर लिया था हमने.
Okay. Jai Shri everyone. So, the topic that we are starting with today is about the 12 vows of enlightened household of Shravak ke 12 Vrat. And I would just want to ask this one simple question. Has any one of you have ever taken any Vrat ever? What is Vrat according to you? Anyone? Dhruv?
I guess like Vrat is like, something taking upas or fasting,
Okay,
or like
fine, good.
or taking niyam, like something.
So what is it? Like, how do we define it? Yes, preciously?
मतलब अपने शक्ति के अनुसार कुछ मतलब कुछ बुरा या हिंसा से रिलेटेड कुछ छोड़ना।
छोड़ना, राइट? कुछ छोड़ना, ओके, गुड। क्यों कोई छोड़ेगा कुछ? वाई?
ताकि ताकि मतलब मोक्ष मार्ग की तरफ अपन पूरा नहीं, लेकिन एक छोटा सा स्टेप तो ले ही सकते हैं ये सब करके।
वेरी वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। यश, यश, श्री,
Uh, a Vrat for me is like a type of Sanyam,
mm-hmm. What is Sanyam?
controlling yourself or your desires or
Mm-hmm.
controlling your wants.
So why are we talking about controlling ourselves so much?
Uh, there's this line that I know, इच्छाओं से आकुलता और आकुलता से दुख.
Okay,
So
very good. Mm-hmm.
we have many different wants that are constantly changing according to the time period or as the era goes along. And when each want is fulfilled, the next one promptly
What
on its
is wrong in desiring something? Is it wrong to be happy? See,
so
if I
just
enjoy delicious food, why do you want me to stay hungry just because I am having the desire of eating something delicious, something, that I really relish, I really enjoy? Why the dharma, the practice of dharma has to be so punishing that just because whatever I enjoy, the dharma will say, okay, stop doing that. This is not right.
the goal
Why?
is not to punish yourself. What what we basically want to do is when we try to fulfill our wants, what we're doing is trying to fulfill something that can never be fulfilled. Because after each want, a new want comes in its place, and that's gonna keep happening. So when
Fine.
you
So
take
I will enjoy a different menu on daily basis. If not today, something, I ate, if I had dosas today, I would be very happy to not having dosa tomorrow. I have new desire of maybe something different.
sure,
Why
yeah,
is it that, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
everything, all of our wants are related to Sharir. Okay, they're related to something that is not me.
Mm-hmm.
So we take vrats to be closer to ourselves. When we do a upvas, the point is not to deprive the body of food. The point
Mm-hmm.
is to make our attention go to ourselves for a day instead of focusing on our body constantly.
Good. Very good. Very good. You have really done a good like studies so far, I would say. But again, my question would remain, and I would want somebody else to answer also. Let's participate in this debate. That why do you not find every religion when people of our generation, maybe they are so doubtful about coming into religious practices and joining religious ceremonies because we practice too much of restraint. Whenever you enter a religious study group, they would say, don't do this, do that, be like this, eat like this, wear clothes like this. So isn't a lot of imposition that follows when you become a student of religion? What are your views on this? Dharmas are always too, you know, they try to just make you realize that, okay, you're doing everything wrong. and suddenly you are not even this body which you have been nurturing throughout, since always you remember. You have been this, and suddenly you're told you're not this body, and you do not have to like this. You have to like something that you cannot see. Yeah, and that is soul, and you are that, and you're not this. So whatever is visible and evident is outrightly rejected by uh, religion, and what nobody has seen is suddenly, we are asked to accept it as our identity. So what is it? Yes, Lakshya.
Yeah, so I was just saying that really it's not meant to be restrictive. It's meant to give guidelines as to how to follow your like how to live your life. So instead of thinking it's a decision making what it's a decision making tool to help you think through how you want to approach different challenges, different scenarios in your lifestyle.
Okay, but what if I choose to be this body only? I don't want to believe in some invisible entity that I cannot associate with. I'm happy being this body. And I would want to just have, everything that I enjoy, I relish, I want to wear good clothes. So maybe be it, leather coats. I want to eat whatever I like, be it anything. How does it affect you if I'm walking some different path which doesn't suit your own ideology? Why
Um,
am I then called out, and why am I then labeled as wrong?
it's I feel like the reason why we have this is like why you following your current desires is not
Mhm.
it won't bring you eternal happiness. It won't bring you happiness. You'll get bored of things. You'll find a new leather jacket that you like. You'll find new boots that you like, and you won't be able to find eternal happiness. And so, by having these guidelines in the form of dharma, we can push ourselves to attain eternal happiness. And the second part
Don't
of
need eternal happiness. I have understood this life that there is no, it's too fragile.
Mhm,
And the eternal happiness is like that mirage that we are given so that we could
mhm,
be controlled by a few gurus and few senior. They will say, okay, walk like this, talk like this.
mhm.
I don't want eternal happiness. I'm happy with whatever I am. Let me eat whenever I want to eat. Let me wear whatever I want to wear. Let me do the stuff I enjoy doing. I want to play video games. I want to kill a few people in video games. Let it be. Do not name it like, Anubhav, you should not be doing this. You're wasting your time. Your human life is precious. Why are you doing this to yourself? Arey, let me do it to myself. What is wrong in this? I do not want to buy this eternal happiness dream. I don't associate with it.
Well, I feel like you have that free will, right? Like if you choose, that's what you want. You also have to understand the consequences. So by having time to
Okay.
teach you there,
What
to
are the consequences?
if well, as you say, if you you live a life of like this like a hedonistic lifestyle as you're explaining, you
Mhm.
you will be left with emptiness at the end of the day, because as we know, all these worldly desires are fulfilled, and we move on to the next happiness. So like um like somebody that's itching for um like you won't be able to find you this lifestyle won't produce the effect that you're thinking about, that you'll be happy forever. That lifestyle doesn't provide that. So in order to
Okay.
get that happiness, we have these
Mhm.
rules.
Great, great. Chalo. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's have final words from Yash as well. Yes. What would you say?
Uh, Regarding what you just said, that if you don't want this eternal happiness, this thing, then I would ask, what do you want? and that question would lead to a series of self-understanding that would finally lead to I want happiness. And I can prove it that there's no happiness in any of the worldly desires. So, to gain that eternal happiness that you're actually looking for, indirectly, maybe you don't know it, but eventually that's what any human being is looking for. So, by that important and vital pull, I can lead you towards a better path or a path towards gaining that goal.
So good, so good. I'm so happy listening to you guys. And this is what this chapter is all about that we're about to start with. We get so self-centered while, learning from Jinwani Mata that, okay, I am soul and I have to be happy and I should not do certain things because they will never bring me the joy. I will also, nothing that I do would be enough if I'm just being outwardly. So sometimes we start thinking, ki, yes, yes, this is what I'm doing for myself. But in this, we, forget to acknowledge that we live in a loaded world. We live in a world which accommodates not just us, there are fellow beings who are also present in this surrounding. So, though I may choose to eat whatever I want, but as far as it does not affect others' life, go ahead with it. It's your decision. Like Lakshya said, free will. I have free will, but even that has consequence, not to me. I think fine. I to have chosen to take this path that I'll bear whatever come what may. I'm ready. So, मैंने तो ये सोच लिया है कि ठीक है जो होगा देखेंगे अभी करते हैं आज के दिन जीते हैं ना कल का किसने देखा है. So I to have decided I will do all sorts of sins, all sorts of path. But just to provide myself with joy, with the tainted definition of joy which I have crafted for myself, मैंने अपने लिए जो सुख की परिभाषा गढ़ी है, कहीं उस परिभाषा से किसी दूसरे का दुख तो नहीं जुड़ा है. What if I am enjoying at 2 a.m. some party and I am, dancing with my friends at full loud music? But in the neighborhood, the others who want to sleep, it may disturb them. And as long as I'm enjoying, that's fine. Okay? The consequences I would be responsible for. The moment somebody else becomes the part of my entertainment, of my joy, the thing start, troublesome. They become very troublesome for us. This is what is happening when जब एक जीव अपने सुख के लिए विपरीत आचरण को द रॉन्ग कंडक्ट वो जीव प्रैक्टिस करता है उसके कारण न सिर्फ ये आत्मा अपने लिए बहुत सारे कर्मों को इनविटेशन देता है नॉट ओनली दैट द मैनी कर्मास दे कम टुवर्ड्स अस एंड हमारे साथ कर्म का बहुत सारे पाप कर्मों के साथ बंधन होता है ये तो काफी सेल्फ सेंट्रिक डिस्क्रिप्शन हो गया बट इसके साथ बहुत सारे जीव ऐसे हैं जिनका कोई लेना देना ही नहीं था वो तो बहुत अपनी अपनी दशाओं में बहुत हीन बहुत पैथेटिक कंडीशंस में थे छोटे छोटे से माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स छोटे छोटे से जीव वो एनिमल्स जो कुछ बोल नहीं सकते थे आई थॉट आई वुड हैव समथिंग डिलीशियस आई कॉट देम आई किल्ड देम आई बॉइल्ड देम आई स्टार्टेड हैविंग देम उनकी क्या गलती थी वो भी तो जीव थे ना तो व्हेन आवर लिविंग स्टॉप्स बीइंग कॉन्शियस लिविंग जब हमारी कॉन्शियंस ये गायब होने लगती है व्हेन अपने सुख के लिए हम किसी दूसरे के दुखों की चिंता करना ही भूल जाते हैं उसे कहते हैं उद्दंडता उसे कहते हैं उच्छृंखलता उसे कहते हैं ऐसा जीवन जो कि किसी भी रीति से प्रशंसनीय नहीं है विच कुड नॉट बी अप्रिशिएटेड फ्रॉम एनी एंगल and that is why restraint is talked about so much in so many different ways. तो व्रत मतलब वो लाइफस्टाइल दैट टाइप ऑफ लाइफस्टाइल that ensures that my living without compromising my own joys, my own happiness, it also ensures that others are not also affected by it. तो हमने 5 प्रकार के पाप पढ़े थे. We learned about the 5 sins: हिंसा, झूठ, चोरी, कुशील and परिग्रह. Okay, so why are these called sins? Because that is my behavior which results in suffering for others as well. So though I enjoy hinsa, violence, but the victim of that uh, anger, victim of that dvesh, it is some fellow being which is Jeev, which is also eternal. So that one person who is being killed because of my anger, because of my joy, that is also a Atma, that person, that being, that organism, it is also a Jeev. And when you are hurting one Jeev without any reason, there is a problem with that. So we identified Hinsa as the biggest sin. Yes, everyone? And therefore, we started saying ahimsa paramo dharma. The biggest dharma is the practice of non-violence. This is what we started saying. Why did we start saying that? Because, ek to I am not happy with my life, and instead I should have been working to make myself happy. I also started making others unhappy. What sort of stupidity is that? What I do not like, what type of behavior I don't like for myself, I've started behaving the same way with others. So that unruly behavior, that behavior which is not right for myself, even I started practicing that with others. So when the vratas came, when my consciousness, my conscience, it got alarmed, it got awakened by Shri Guru's great words of that I am not body, I am the soul. I realized कि बिना आत्मा को जाने मैं कितने सारे दूसरे जीवों को भी दुख का कारण बनता रहा. And suddenly I had this realization that I'm not anymore. I'm going to be the reason of others' pain, others' suffering. So I started taking vows where I said, I will not do this, I will not practice that. And that's how the vratas came into picture. Okay, so virati. Vratas, the word vrat is actually original word is virat. So rat is rag. Rat is where you invest yourself, where you like going. So rati means liking. So wherever, whatever attracts you, whatever fascinates you, so wherever you find yourself invested, that is rati, and you calling back yourself from that, because wherever whatever you do in this world, whatever, if you're working in this world, wherever you're working, some way or another you're going to commit hinsa. There is nothing, you cannot avoid hinsa, because there are infinite jivas spread everywhere, and even if you're breathing, that act of breathing, it amounts to certain amount of hinsa. तो जिसको शरीर के साथ रहना है, उसको हिंसा तो अनिवार्य है. You cannot live with this body without committing himsa. That's why Siddha Bhagwan is our actual ideal. Why? Because he has left this very body, which is the reason of violence. तो जो देह के साथ है वो निर्दोष नहीं है. जिसके पास बॉडी है वो नहीं रह सकता है अनटेंटेड. उसके साथ हिंसा होगी होगी और होगी. तो हम क्या करें? So we'll not be able to completely stop hinsa, but at least we can take one step, like what you initially said, that एक कदम तो हम आगे बढ़े. Let's start reducing it. So it is our attempt to control that, our vritti of committing himsa, our habit of, indulging with this world. We're trying to control it. And when you look it from outside, it looks like it's quite restrictive. हमें रोका जा रहा है, हमें टोका जा रहा है, but it is not that. It is being conscious of what are the consequences of your actions, your thoughts. So those 5 sins, hinsa, jhoot, chori, kushil, and parigrah, those very 5 sins, if we start controlling them, and if we partially win over those 5 sins, these becomes anuvratas. So Virata, you were earlier invested in violence. Now you have called yourself back from committing those sins partially. So you are Virati. You have stopped doing Rati partially. So you are Anuvrati. You are partially free from sins. And when you become a Muniraj, when we take Diksha, we become Mahavrati or Sakalvrati. So we have now completely renounced all types of sins. We'll not invest our upyog in any of the paps, any of the sins. So Muniraj, they are called Mahavrati, and the householders who practice partial non-violence, partial truth, partial non-stealing, we are called Anuvrati. Okay, everyone, simple. You heard. So Virat, if you have to speak it in a bit haste, it will call Vrat. Vrat is coming from Virat. Don't indulge. Don't indulge. Don't indulge. That is Virat. Rat, yeah, you're indulged, you're invested. So to not indulge in violence, it is ahimsa, partially anuvrat, fully mahavrat. So Muniraj will have ahimsa mahavrat, we will have ahimsa anuvrat. Okay, everyone? Simple, it is simple. How we are trying to understand it, it's simple. It's very simple. So, what is the difference between vrati and avirati? So, avirati is somebody who has no restraint, which that person practices. So, avirati would be something if I come to your house at 10 p.m. and you'll say, okay, Anubhav ji, what will you have? I'll say, oh, is the dinner not prepared? So a guest has come to your house. तो आप बोलोगे आपको चलता है रात को, and I'll say, yeah, I have no foundation. Means this is avirati in full functioning. So when you have no boundaries, you are free to do whatever you want, wherever you want. Okay, will you have this? Will you go there? Will you come along with me to this place? When I have no filter, I'm doing everything that you're asking me to do. So I'm avirati. I have no foundation whatsoever. But then when I am wise and I know that okay, it is not true that I have to be present everywhere. I have to be doing everything. I have to be eating everything. I can practice my own wisdom. I can put it in use. Then that is called virati. So when I practice that wisdom living in my household, then it's called anuvrati. And when I renounce the household itself altogether, then what I'm practicing is mahavirati. Okay, so Vrat is the restraint, not because we are just thinking about ourselves, because we are also considering ourselves as physical being and our physical existence. It has repercussions on others' lives as well. And therefore, my life should be so beautiful that though I am completely devoted to my own happiness, at the same time, I am also thinking about others' happiness too. I should not, if I cannot make others happy, at least I should not be the reason of their pain, of their suffering. This is how kind every Mokshmargi Jeev becomes. Okay. I saw one hand which was raised. I think it was Sahajta. Did you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me.
So, even even arihants
Yes.
have a body, and so they
Yes.
breathe because, like, if they have a body, they'll breathe. Otherwise, like, they'll die. And
Okay.
so then you
That.
said कि
Yeah.
when we breathe,
Yeah. Yeah.
you pap, yeah, like you get pap now when you breathe, because वो
Yeah.
जीव है. So then even arihant get pap when they're breathing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So,
Do they get
question. What is the question?
that? Do arihants like उनको पाप
Are
मिलता है?
puppies?
No, when they breathe.
Okay. See, listen. This is what is the beauty of these vratas. This is what we are going to about to learn. So let's say I have a knife. Okay. I have a knife. And using that knife, I was, making vegetable and my finger got cut. Okay. Is the knife violent? It cut my finger. My knife will go to Naragati now for doing hinsa. What do you say, Sahajta?
No, sir, because the knife is ajib.
So what? It did. I recorded it in my CCTV installed in my room. It was recorded. Knife cut my finger. Bad knife. Violent knife. It should be punished. Should I call police?
No, sir.
Tell me, will knife be called hinsak, papi, cruel, violent or not?
No.
No, why? Why? I want to ask why. Did it not cut my finger? Okay, a person was driving, and that person met with an accident with an old person who was crossing the road. The old person is dead, okay? Who hit the old person, the driver or the car?
Was the driver's
Sahishta,
fault.
who hit the old person, driver or the car?
The car.
Who should go to the jail, driver or the car?
Driver.
What is this? Driver
Because
was sitting 3 meters away from that person on the steering wheel. He did not touch it. He did not touch him. He did not do any. Instead, he pressed the brakes just moments before to just save. He did everything to save that old person. And now the police is come and taking and prosecuting this poor boy and not talking with this car who has actually hit that old person. What do you think? Who is Papi here? The car or the person? Sehjta. Everyone start thinking. See, this is the beauty of this chapter. That's why we are learning because this is where this chapter will take us to. This chapter is actually so beautiful because when we'll say that all the vratas are one and that one vrat has, its expansion into 12. So, first we need to understand, we need to define what that sin is from which we want to have avirati. Yeah, we are having avirati, therefore we are committing that sin. How can we take virati from that? So, what is that sin? We have to first acknowledge. You've raised a beautiful question. So, Arihantas are sinners or not? Because their samavsharan will move. So many jivas will come because of their limit to their samavsharan. So, like, even the Raja Shrenik is going to the samavsharan, sitting in his elephant, and उस elephant के नीचे ही there is small frog who just died. Have you seen that story? That poor frog, he had flour in his mouth. He also wanted to go to the sum of Sharan of Mahavir Bhagwan. But Raja Shrenik's elephant, he crushed that poor little frog. So the frog died because of Mahavir Bhagwan. Neither Mahavir Bhagwan would have come to Rajgrahi, nor this frog would have been going to this Samav Sharan, nor the Raja Shrenik would also want to go to the Samav Sharan. So who is responsible for the death of this frog? There's only one person. The stampede happened because of Bhagwan Mahavir Swami. So is he a sinner? This is what we are asking, and this is a very important question. ठीक है, if we understand this, if we crack this, it is going to be such beautiful understanding that we all have, ourselves through this discussion realized. So the knife will never be called out. The car will be used as proof. It will be part of the investigation, but will never be punished. It could not be punished. How will you punish a car? You'll sold it to somebody and he'll take all its parts away. That's how he'll punish it. So the car will cry, the knife will cry, it will regret over cutting your finger. It will not. तो ये सारी वस्तुएं किसी की गन है and that gun has killed somebody. Will the gun be prosecuted? क्या इस बंदूक को आप पनिश कर सकते हो? You cannot. तो क्यों नहीं कर सकते हो? क्योंकि हम उसी को कल्प्रिट मानेंगे पहले, जिसमें ज्ञान दर्शन हो, जो कॉन्शियस हो, जो जीव हो। एट द सेम टाइम जब वो जीव हो, उसके साथ उसका मारने का इंटेंट हो। सो विदाउट दैट इंटेंट ऑफ कमिटिंग हिंसा, यू बिकम एकदम क्लीन विदाउट द इंटेंट। Therefore, violence is not killing somebody. Violence is the thought of killing. That's what is being talked about. अरिहंत भगवान की रागादि नहीं है, इसीलिए वो हिंसक नहीं है। हमारे राग द्वेष कषाय है, इसलिए हम हिंसक हैं। इसलिए वॉयलेंस हम वो नहीं बोल रहे हैं जो सामने वाले को मारा, हम वॉयलेंस बोल रहे हैं आत्मा का क्रोध करना, आत्मा का राग करना। सो कमिटिंग ऑफ दीज इल इमोशंस ऑफ राग, ऑफ द्वेष, ऑफ क्रोध, ऑफ मान माया लोभ, दे मेक अस हिंसक। And when we restrict these emotions, we become partially Anuvrati and fully Mahavrati. And Mahavir Bhagwan sitting in his Samavsharan is completely Vitragi. So, no matter what happens outside, he does not intend to commit any himsa. Therefore, sooner than you think, he'll leave this body and he'll become Siddha, because he has cracked the real secret of this universe, that you become victim not because of what you do outside, but you because what goes inside of you, what you do, what you think. All the garbage is in our thoughts, all the dirt is in our thoughts, it's not in our actions. Actions are merely the representations of those thoughts. Everyone, so Sahaj, you've asked a beautiful question, and this is what how the Jainism defines hinsa. Ragadi nam, हाँ, अप्रादुर्भावः खलु रागादीनां भवते हिंसेति, तेषामेवोत्पत्ति हिंसेति जिनागमस्य संक्षेपः. Acharya Amritchandra says, what is himsa? To kill somebody, to hit somebody, to use bad words towards somebody. No, this is not hinsa. किसी को मारना, सताना, उसका दिल दुखाना, ये हिंसा नहीं है। क्योंकि कोई तो आप नहीं मारो तो भी बुरा मान सकता है कि देखो वो मुझको कैसे देख रहे थे, अरे उन्होंने मुझे देखा ही नहीं, ऐसे आई वॉज नॉट देयर। तो दूसरा तो कैसे भी ऑफेंड हो सकता है दूसरे को, क्योंकि यदि उसका मोह होगा, उसका राग होगा, तो उसके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से वो तो किसी भी बात का बुरा मान सकता है। वो जा रहे थे, उन्होंने मेरे से जय जिनेन्द्री नहीं किया, आई एम वेरी हर्ट। अरे भाई मैं अपना काम कर रहा था, मैं नहीं देख पाया, आई एम सो सॉरी, आई डिड नॉट मीन टू हर्ट यू। So you cannot be clean based on how others feel. You are not responsible for others' feeling. What you are accountable is for your own feelings. तो आत्मा में रागादि की उत्पत्ति नहीं होना, ये अहिंसा है, और रागादि की उत्पत्ति होना, यही हिंसा है। एंड दिस इज द समरी ऑफ द इंटायर जिनागम। आचार्य अमृत चंद्र देव इन द स्क्रिप्चर पुरुषार्थ सिद्धि उपाय, he says this very clearly. पूरे जिनागम का संक्षेप क्या है? If I have to give you the summary of all the wisdom of Jinvani, that is in 2 lines. To indulge in the emotions of rag, dvesh, and moho is called hinsa, and to not commit the emotions of rag, dvesh, and moho is ahimsa. So when I'm saying ahimsa parmo dharma, I'm not talking to not kill somebody. You cannot hurt others as long as they do not participate to your actions willingly. But whether the other person gets hurt or not, if you are committing the sins of rag and dvesh, it is you who is going to be the victim. तो हम पहले अपनी हिंसा करते हैं, फिर दूसरे की. If I am throwing a fireball towards you, it is my hand that will face the heat first. I'll have to get my hands, my palms burned before that fireball reaches you. मैं क्रोध करूंगा, मेरे गुस्से से आप नाराज बाद में होगे, पहले मुझे गुस्से से उबलना पड़ेगा, right? So this is why Arihantas are not because they are not actively participating through their rag and dvesh. So in any event of hinsa, they do not become hinsa, just like the knife, because it does not have any intent and any consciousness and any intent to do so. Just like any other Pudgal Dravya, it does not become party to Hinsa because it does not have intent. So when nobody has intent, it becomes accident. But when it is with intent, it becomes murder. There is great difference between accident and murder. Accident is pardonable. It happened. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to. And you are pardoned. But if I have done it willingly, I must be ready to face the consequences. So this is what is happening. So let's just read this beautiful chapter. You will get your answer in the first when you are do when we are reading this chapter. I don't know. Should I open the Hindi wala bhag or English wala? I'll do the Hindi one only. ठीक है? It's so beautiful. If we get this, whatever you have just asked will be answered automatically. ठीक है? Let me just अहिंसा अनुव्रत. So जिसे यथार्थ सम्यक दर्शन प्रकट हो चुका है उसे ज्ञानी कहते हैं. ऐसे ज्ञानी जीव जब अनंतानुबंधी और अप्रत्यक्ष अनावरण कषाय के उदय के अभाव में अपने में देश चारित्र स्वरूप आत्मशुद्धि प्रकट करता है, तब वह व्रती श्रावक कहलाता है. मतलब द सम्यक दृष्टि becomes very conscious that okay fine, I to have realized myself, but see, because of non-realization of myself, I have been such a threat to my fellow beings. मेरे कारण कितने जीवों की हिंसा होती थी. अब आई विल नॉट गोइंग टू पार्टिसिपेट इन एनी ऑफ द इवेंट्स ऑफ कशायर्स. ऐसा वो जागा, उसको सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन हुआ, तो उसकी ये आत्मशुद्धि प्रकट हुई. तो दिस कॉन्शियस थॉट, ये आत्मशुद्धि जो प्रकट हुई, उसे निश्चय व्रत कहते हैं. और उक्त आत्मशुद्धि के सद्भाव में जो हिंसादि पांच पापों के त्याग और अहिंसादि पांच अणुव्रत आदि के धारण करने रूप शुभ भाव होते हैं, उन्हें व्यवहार व्रत कहते हैं. इस प्रकार के शुभ भाव ज्ञानी श्रावक के सहज रूप में प्रकट होते हैं. दे आर नॉट आर्टिफिशियली मेड परिणाम्स. they originate automatically. We are, by nature very good people. So if we see somebody doing good, that good deed is always contagious. हमें नहीं पता है हमारी अच्छाई कितने जल्दी ट्रेवल करती है. If you see somebody helping a poor animal, you will find two more people lending their hands to help further help it. क्योंकि हम जब कुछ अच्छा करते हैं ना, that gives some types of awakening within us, some realization that even we did not realize beforehand. क्योंकि हमारा स्वभाव ही इतना क्षमा से भरा है कि हम इतनी कषायों की क्रूरता में व्यग्र हो गए थे. वी वर सो arrogant, we were so violent that we forgot how beautiful we appear. And therefore, even smallest act of kindness shown by a stranger, it affects us, it inspires us like anything. Suddenly you're thirsty, and some person just out of nowhere from this gathering and comes and asks for water. He lends his water bottle. You suddenly feel so elated, not because कि कुछ बहुत बड़ा काम हो गया है, but because you did not realize it before, that how beautiful we are from within. तो ऐसी अपनी अच्छाई का अपने आप हमारे अंदर प्रकट होना, कि हम और लोगों के प्रति संवेदनशील हो, हम और सेंसिटिव हो, हम और अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो. हम जो हमारे साथ बुरा व्यवहार कर रहा है, हम उसके भी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू को समझने के लिए प्रयास करें कि नहीं नहीं प्लीज, आई एम रियली सॉरी व्हाई यू आर ऑफेंडेड, आई डोंट गेट इट, but we can sit down and talk. I'm not liking it that you are angry because of me. Now this much of humility, this much of conscious living that we practice, ये एक साधक के जीवन का स्वभाव है. तो we are now categorizing this in 12 parts. So ये व्रत 12 प्रकार के होते हैं. उनमें हिंसादि 5 पापों का एक देश त्याग, ये 5 अणुव्रत होते हैं. और इन अणुव्रतों के रक्षण और उनमें अभिवृद्धि रूप 3 गुणव्रत और महाव्रतों के अभ्यास रूप 4 शिक्षा व्रत होते हैं. सो इट्स अ वेरी ब्यूटिफुल मेक. I'll just read this and then I'll take your question, Arna. अहिंसाणुव्रत. हिंसा भाव के स्थूल रूप में त्याग को अहिंसाणुव्रत कहते हैं. इसे समझने के लिए पहले हिंसा को समझना आवश्यक है. कषाय भाव के उत्पन्न होने पर आत्मा के उपयोग की शुद्धता, शुद्धोपयोग का घात होना, भाव हिंसा है. और उक्त कषाय भाव के निमित्त है जिसमें ऐसे अपने और पराये द्रव्य प्राणों का घात होना द्रव्य हिंसा है. सो द रियल हिंसा इज व्हाट? द रियल हिंसा इज व्हाट हैपेंस इन अवर भाव्स, भाव हिंसा. एंड एज अ कॉन्सिक्वेंस टू दैट, हमारे और दूसरे की लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग कुछ एक्ट्स हो जाना, ये द्रव्य हिंसा है. तो ये अमृत चंद्राचार्य ने पुरुषार्थ सिद्धिउपाय नामक ग्रंथ में लिखा है. आत्मा में रागादि दोषों का उत्पन्न होना ही हिंसा है, तथा उनका उत्पन्न न होना ये अहिंसा है. यदि कोई व्यक्ति राग द्वेषादि भाव ना करके योग्यतम आचरण करे, तथा सावधानी रखने पर भी यदि किसी जीव का घात हो जाए, तो वो हिंसा नहीं है. अरिहंत भगवान इसलिए हिंसक नहीं होते हैं. इसके विपरीत कोई जीव अंतरंग में कषाय भाव रखे और बाह्य में भी असावधान रहे, पर उसके निमित्त से किसी जीव का घात ना हुआ हो, तो भी ही इज हिंसक. What if I was running in the on this road and छोटे छोटे बहुत सारे जीव चल रहे थे रोड पर, but I was in haste, so I was running, and मेरा पैर वहीं पर पड़ा जहां कोई जीव नहीं था, एक भी जीव नहीं मरा. सो आई एम वायलेंट और आई एम नॉन वायलेंट. मैंने तो एक को भी नहीं मारा. कि अरे आपने नहीं मारा होगा ये तो एक कोइंसिडेंस है, लेकिन डिड यू वर यू अवेयर ऑफ देयर एग्जिस्टेंस ऑन दैट रोड? यू वर नॉट. तो आप अविरति थे. यू वर नॉट अवेयर, यू वर नॉट अलार्म्ड, and therefore you are violent despite committing zero violence. And if there was some Muniraj who was seeing the road, walking, he put his every feet with great consciousness. And then suddenly when he was putting his feet down onto the road, and तभी एक fly उड़कर उनके पैर के नीचे आ गई and it died. He was aware, he was conscious. तो हिंसा होने पर भी उनको हिंसा का उस रीति का पाप नहीं पड़ेगा. ये हिंसा अहिंसा की गजब की व्याख्या है बाय जैनिज्म. एंड देयरफॉर हिंसा और अहिंसा का निर्णय प्राणी के मरने या मरने से नहीं, ना मरने से नहीं, रागादि भाव की उत्पत्ति और अनुत्पत्ति से. एंड देयरफॉर देयर इज क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ हिंसा इनटू 4 कैटेगरीज. दिस इज सो ब्यूटीफुल. First, संकल्पी हिंसा, the हिंसा with intent. Second, उद्योगी हिंसा. Third, आरंभी हिंसा. Fourth, विरोधी हिंसा. So let's take it from step by step from the bottom. विरोधी, if somebody is coming to hit me, do I have to protect myself? Can I protect myself? Yes, if you're partially Vrati, not Mahavrati. Muniraj to will surrender to the situation. They will be immersed in their ज्ञान. तो हम उसे उपसर्ग बोलेंगे. They will not save themselves. They'll say whatever you wanted to do, I am in my soul. I am in the fortress of my soul. So they are okay. But यदि मैं हूं, मेरे साथ मेरी family है, and there is somebody who comes and they start threatening my family, will I fight or not? I will have to. But it is not me who is fighting. I am fighting against their kashai. I am not making my own kashai participate in this. So that virodhi hinsa, that hinsa which you use as to safeguard yourself, ये व्रति जीवन, यदि देश व्रति जीव के जीवन में हो सकती है, because you are not the initiator of this violence. Second, when I am living in my house and cleaning the house, तो जब हम कुक कर रहे हैं, जब हम फ्रूट्स खा रहे हैं, तो इसमें भी तो हिंसा होती है ना. सफाई करने में छोटे छोटे जीव मरते हैं, बट इट इज इनएविटेबल. दो वी प्रैक्टिस हाईएस्ट ऑफ our attention, highest form of our attention, we take every precaution that हिंसा should not happen, पर फिर भी पानी छानने में हिंसा हो जाती है, खाना बनाने में अग्नि जलाई हमने, हिंसा होती है. इसको बोलते आरंभी हिंसा. So we'll try to minimize it, but it will happen. Then we also have to earn our living, so we'll go to our jobs, we'll run our businesses. तो उद्योगी हिंसा, तो जो हमारी ऑक्यूपेशनल वायलेंस है, वो भी मजबूरी है कि यदि हम कर्म भूमि में हैं और हमें अपनी लाइफ को जीना है, हमें अपनी फैमिली को प्रोवाइड करना है, तो ये भी हो गई. तो हम इस पे भी बहुत कॉन्शियसली पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं. तो इवन दैट इज सीन, दैट हिंसा इज सीन. दैट डज नॉट मीन कि उसका कॉन्सिक्वेंस नहीं होता. We'll have to face the heat of this hinsa later, but at least we are trying to minimize it. लेकिन एक फोर्थ टाइप की हिंसा है, संकल्पी हिंसा। हम सोच ही रहे हैं रोज दैट ओके आई हैव टू टेक माय रिवेंज, आई हैव टू अवेंज दिस। हम कॉन्स्टेंटली किसी दूसरे का बुरा सोच रहे हैं, दैट इज संकल्पी हिंसा। सो अणुव्रति को संकल्पी हिंसा नहीं होती। वो तो ये चाहता है कि सुखी रहें सब जीव जगत के, कोई भी जीव दुखी नहीं हो दुनिया में। तो केवल निर्दय परिणाम ही हेतु है जिसमें ऐसे संकल्प यानी इरादा इंटेंट पूर्वक किया गया प्राणघात, ये संकल्पी हिंसा है। और ऐसे इन सब की डेफिनेशंस हैं। सो दिस इज वेरी सिंपल। सो देखिए, यदि 12 व्रतों का हम नाम बोल रहे हैं तो एक्चुअली दे आर ओनली वन। देर इज ओनली वन विच इज अहिंसा व्रत, अहिंसा परमो धर्म, and rest 11 are just the different ways of practicing that ahimsa. What are those ways? They're very simpler ways, and it is very easy to keep or to be mindful of these. But first we have to have this clarity that hinsa is not what is done to others. Hinsa is what I have actually realized in myself, that thought of rag, dvesh, moh. Okay, everybody, तो आत्मा की राग आदि की उत्पत्ति वो हिंसा है। Yes, Aina, your question.
Um, sir, I think you already answered this, but it was that like, so with the driver, he obviously he didn't want to kill him, but he still died, so he's still gonna get the gun for that, even if it wasn't intentional. Wouldn't he still get bopped for it? Like, I know he didn't mean to, but like he still in reality he still killed it on. He still killed someone. It's not like yeah.
This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful what you've just said. So, just because we said that Arambhi Hinsa, Udyogi Hinsa, Virodhi Hinsa, they are allowed. But that does not mean that they will not have consequences. देखो, एक तो ड्राइवर वो है जिसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ही मिला है कि सामने वाले को उड़ा देने का है। Okay, so this driver is assassinated. So now he's doing Sankalpi Hinsa, and then he was caught by the police. He was then prosecuted. Then judge, after concluding that he had intention to kill, they served him with the sheerest of the punishment. This is the result of Sankalpi Hinsa. But what if this person did not mean to add, जब ये प्रूफ कर दिया इसके लॉयर ने कि नहीं नहीं इसने तो पूरी कोशिश करी उसको बचाने की, आखिरी में पूरा ट्रक ही इसने मोड़ दिया था, ये खुद ही देखो इसको इतनी चोट आई है, ही अंटिल द लास्ट वेरी मोमेंट ही ट्राई टू सेव दैट पुअर मैन। तो अब इंटेंट नहीं है, लेकिन तब भी ये क्यों इतनी स्पीड में कार चला रहा था, इसका ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस कहाँ है, सीट बेल्ट क्यों नहीं था, इसकी कार का ही भाई फिट, ये इसकी कार नहीं थी, ये क्यों अपने फ्रेंड की बोरोड कार से चल। सो नाउ ही विल बी गिवन स्टिल द पनिशमेंट, जस्ट लाइक विरोधी हिंसा का पाप लगेगा, उद्योगी हिंसा का पाप लगेगा, आरंभी हिंसा का पाप लगेगा। तो यूर राइट आर्ना, he'll still be punished, but will the intensity of the punishment the same? Will it be the same? वो असेसिनेटर होता और ये कंक्लूड इंटेंट प्रूव हो जाता तो सेम पनिशमेंट मिलती उसको क्या, जो अभी उसको दे दी कि ठीक है यू हैव टू सर्व फॉर 1 ईयर, या फिर आप ये करो। तो दैट पनिशमेंट वेरीड ना। दिस इज व्हाट द इंटेंशन डज, इसलिए संकल्पी हिंसा भयानक है। देयरफॉर ऑल द लॉज दे प्रोसिक्यूट यू फॉर द इंटेंट, नॉट फॉर द एक्शन। Always be mindful of that. So if there is an assassinator who has planned a murder and that did not get executed, but यदि कोर्ट में ये प्रूफ हो जाता है that he had intent to murder this person, then the case will run as if the murder happened. वो मरे या नहीं मरे, उसको पनिशमेंट तो अब मर्डर की मिलेगी बिकॉज ही हैड द इंटेंशन। और यदि एक्चुअल में कोई मर जाता एंड हैड ही नॉट हैव द इंटेंशन, तो फिर वो मर गया है तो भी द केस विल नॉट बी ऑफ द इंटेंट टू किल, वो फिर उसके नेग्लिजेंस का केस चलेगा, वो उसके ही वुड हैव बीन मोर माइंडफुल उसका चलेगा। सो दिस इज व्हाट इवन अवर लॉज, अवर गवर्नमेंट्स, दे आल्सो सी परिणाम एंड अभिप्राय, they do not see the kriya, they do not see the action. So therefore, when we talk about virati, vratas, it is less of the kriyas, let's of the our outer actions, but it is more about restricting our own kashai, our own ragdveshan. Okay, Arna, very good. You guys have done such a good job today. I'm so happy. Right from the beginning, you're answering so well, and even your questions are so pointed. So good. So, yes, we'll stop here, abhi ke liye. So the rest of the vratas, if you understand, if you correct this, the bare vratas are nothing. But then now they become rather a very interesting exercise. What gun vratas are, what shiksha vratas are. We'll do it in the next session in very short, and then we'll move to the next chapter. Okay, I'm really sorry for joining this late and everything got so late. But I'm really happy that you guys have, had the grasp of the actual content, like you're aiming at the right thing. आपको जो जरूरी है वो दिख रहा है, and I'm so happy about it. Thank you. चलिए रुकते हैं यहाँ पर. हिंदू जमानी स्तुति. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है. उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है. उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है. नो पालो का. निरंतर मुद्रा मन सर्वजनित भगवंतों की जय हो. वादिशाग्मयी जनवाणी माता की जय हो. समस्त वितरागी महामुनि राजों की जय हो. अहिंसा में जैन धर्म की जय हो. शासन नायक तीर्थंकर वर्धमान स्वामी की जय हो. अष्टानिका महापर्व की जय हो. जय जिनेन्द्र एवरीवन. थैंक
जय
यू.
जिनेन्द्र. Thank you very much, अनुभव जी. बहुत सुंदर. And the kids are thinking in such amazing ways, which is very heartwarming. Thank you so much, अनुभव जी.
It's all because of all the wonderful kids. I'm really so happy listening to all of them. Good job. Jai Children, everyone.
जय
Jai
जिनेन्द्र.
Children.